I liked, Emmanuel, you're channeling your inner Pat Shurmur there. Finito. Thought that was very well done. All right. Georgia's last regular season game decided by single digits was last year in the win over Notre Dame. Speaking of the Irish, they got a game this weekend against Pitt. But big picture-wise for the Irish, Jonathan, if Notre Dame wins out, manages this schedule, finishes 12-0, will they knock out not just 2 Power 5 conferences, but 3 in the playoff?
There is a very real possibility that they can knock out 3 Power 5 conferences by running the table. The only scenario I see this happening is going back to Georgia. They win out through the season and then lose in a very, very narrow loss, similar to the national championship game against the SEC West champ. In this case would be Alabama. So you'd have an undefeated Alabama, a very, very good, tough loss for Georgia against the best team in the country. How do you not let them in? A one-loss SEC team, and then you have Notre Dame, and then you have a one-loss or undefeated conference champion of one of the other conferences. That leaves 3 conferences out of the playoff race, and that's a very real possibility.
Here's why I completely disagree. If Notre Dame makes it to the college football playoff, yes, they're in. We assume the Big Ten champion, maybe Ohio State, maybe Penn State, maybe Wisconsin, maybe Michigan, they're in. The SEC team that wins the SEC championship is in. But, JV, you know what it is in football. It's not what have you done for me. It's what have you done for me lately. So at the point in which you have an SEC team that lost in December 10th or so versus a Pac-12 team that lost in week 1, which is Washington, or a Big 12 team that lost in week 4, which is Oklahoma, or week 1, which is Texas and a one-loss team, I think the Big 12 or the Pac-12 sneaks in. I don't think you'll leave out 3 conferences. I think it will just be 2.
Real quick, Acho, I'll ask you this real quickly. If Georgia is 12-1, Ohio State 12-1, who's the better team?
Ohio State, because of Ohio State.
Oh, my God.
You could feel the conviction there. You could
Oh,
feel
my
it.
goodness.
I was torn.
With that. Oh, yeah. It does come down to Georgia, because you'd have to say the committee puts them at number 2. Then they lose a close game to the number 1 team in Alabama. How does the committee say, you know what, you're now number 5? They probably prove they're number 2.